Okay, so as those are being passed around, this is a sheet that James has made for us. It's a great sheet. It's a great way to know which rule we're going to use. Because right now we're transitioning into problem solving. Now notice we did 6b, that was just dedicated to the cosine rule. Now we've done 6c, that's just dedicated to the sine rule. And in 6d, you're going to be given a problem and it doesn't tell you which rule to use. You need to find out from the problem which rule I'm going to use. So this table here can help us find out what rule we have to use. So for example, if we know two sides and the angle between, we can find the third side using the cosine rule. That's how we're going to read this table here. So let's have a look at our problem solving then. We've got our first example, which is ship A leaves the port and travels at a bearing of 200 degrees to true north. So what that means, right, if this is north, 200 degrees from north going anti-clockwise is going to be about there. So that's the direction that ship A heads in. Then we have ship B leaves the same port at the same time with a bearing of 165 degrees. Okay, so that means the angle from true north to ship B is 165. And so what we know then, if we're going from 165 all the way to 200, that this internal angle here has to be 35 degrees. And the question basically says, how far apart are they? So from this image, what we're going to do is we're going to abstract out of it a triangle that has some unknowns for us. So we have 5.2 here, we have 5.8 here. This is x, and this angle is 35 degrees. Okay, so we have two sides and the angle between them, and we are trying to find the third side. So we can have a look at our table, and we're trying to see which one does it satisfy. That's going to tell us which rule to use. Two sides and the angle between, that's the top row of our table there. We're going to use the cosine rule. So the cosine rule states a squared is b squared plus c squared, take 2bc cos a. Alright, so we're going to label the angle A and the side A, and then these are going to be B and C, right? And we're going to substitute those straight into the formula. So we're going to put x where the A is. We'll put, remember B and C don't matter which order we ascribe to them, so we'll have 5.8 squared plus 5.2 squared, take 2 times 5.8 times 5.2 cos of 35. So that's going to give us x squared, which means x is the square root of what this evaluates to. So we'll do that in one step to get our x value. I've got 3.356, so 4 figures. We round the fourth one, 3.36 kilometres. Okay, really good. So there, we were given the problem. This one gave us a bit of a picture. Occasionally, like with example 2, it's not going to give us a picture. We need to abstract a picture from the words that are presented to us. So we have A and B are locations 800 metres apart on a straight north-south road. So let's do that. Here's A, here's B, and they are 800 metres apart on a road that runs from north to south. We have a house has a true bearing of 125 degrees from A and 50 degrees from B. Okay, so from point A, if we're going 125 degrees from here, so that would be true north, 90 is going to be the right angle, so 125 is going to be about there somewhere. Okay, so that's going to be a bearing of 125. And we also have and 50 degrees from B. So if here's B, house B, that's north, so 50 degrees in that direction is going to be there. So the house is here, we'll call it H, and this angle in here is 50 degrees. Okay, now from this image we've got something that's sort of implicit in it. It's not explicitly told to us, but we can get it from the true bearing. And that is that we want this internal angle here. Well, this is a straight line, and a straight line has 180 degrees. So if this is 125, then this part here is going to be 180. Take 125, it's going to be 55 degrees. Okay? So the triangle that we have here is this one. We've got 55, we've got 50, we've got 800, and H. And what does the question ask us to find? Find the distance from A to the house and from B to the house. So we have two unknowns that we're asked to solve. So if here's A to the house, let's just do that one, I think, from A to the house. So what we have here is we have two angles and an unknown side, and we are trying to find a second side. So if we have a look at our table, all right, the table that we've got the third row down. Two angles and one side, we're going to use the sine rule. So we saw before, the sine rule, when we're finding an unknown side, takes this form. A on sine A equals B on sine B. Okay, so we're going to ascribe our unknown to be side A, which means 50 is our angle A. Now, we are not told the size of this angle here, and we're going to need that angle in order to use this side here. So I'm going to call that angle B, and its size is going to be 180, because all angles in a triangle add to 180. 180, take away both of these. So 180, take away 50, that's 130. Take away the 55, all right, so what's that, 105, that's going to be 75 degrees. Okay, so we have angle B there at 75 degrees. If this is angle B, then this is side B. And now we're ready to substitute it into the sine rule formula. So we would have x on top of sine 50 equals 800 on top of sine 75. Multiply both sides by sine 50 to get x by itself. Okay, chuck that in the calculator. And we got 634.45. So I'm going to write 4 figures and 4 rounds down. So we'll have 634 meters between between A and the house. All right, now we could repeat the process to find the distance between the house and B, but I think we'll leave that because it's just another application of the sine rule. So I just want to stress with 6A, B, and C and D, they're pretty basic problems, right? So we'll just have a quick look at the checklist at the front. So there's a lot of questions there, right? From 6A we had 12 questions. In 6D there's 13 questions. So in an ideal world you would do all of them, all right? That's sort of what we recommend. However, understand that's not feasible. If you enjoy problem solving, there's some good ones to have a go at, but I reckon you should at least try to do a few, okay? As a bare minimum, try to do a few. My advice would be try to do all of them. That being said, right now, if you want to leave it for homework and do it at home, you can do some of your folio tasks.